All right, terrific. You're going to go on the chief referee's whistle. Our Cat 3 competition about to kick off. We will say, riders ready. And we're off.
All right, Chicago Grit, day 10. Sorry about the delay. Obviously finished up racing, had some travel. It was fun. A couple nights out. Nice to not be racing and able to enjoy Chicago. This is in Fulton Market. It's kind of cool. It's like right in the West Loop. All the restaurants and bars around. We were kind of one of the last races of the day. Cat 5s were on last, but we were after the pro women and the pro men. It rained kind of randomly in the afternoon. The pro women's race was crazy. I felt bad for them. It rained, like the L track overhead you can see. I think all the whatever crap washing off of that into the corners meant that turn 2 back there was just an absolute crash fest in the women's race. They could not keep it upright. I think the road was just covered in wet oil and stuff. But it completely dried out for us, so that was great. Still, these 4-corner non-technical crits are kind of always a crash fest for some reason. There's just nothing to string it out, no separation. So, I was kind of on edge taking inside lines because, boom, there's the first crash of the race. Someone just forgot to turn and rode into a wall. So, yeah, that was kind of the theme all day today was I was thinking I should get to the front so I could survive this race. Turn 1 was probably the only sort of tricky turn. The exit was a little narrow. There's some construction on that side of the road, so there's some big concrete Jersey barriers. They had pads and stuff up there. But yeah, there's a bit of a cobbled surface. It was probably, that and turn 3 were the fastest corners, but turn 3 you could pretty much pedal through. This was a little narrower. So yeah, that's the only kind of technical point of this race. So let's jump ahead and see what happened. All right, couple laps into the race. I've seen some carnage, people taking wild lines, and I don't really want to sit in for a bunch sprint on this course because I think I'm going to crash before we get there. And I've been losing bunch sprints all week, so yeah, I just want to stir the pot. I feel like the top few GC guys are just sort of looking to defend places today, not get too crazy. So there's definitely a chance that a break could go if it's the right composition. Maybe just a couple of us solo riders, like #guy-in-white, or any of the other kind of privateers here. Just kind of roll past everybody on that straightaway. I didn't have to do too many watts and just slot in for 5th wheel there, which is perfect. So we can jump ahead to some attacking action. There was a pretty good sized crowd, and I had some fans in there personally, so that was great. Got me fired up. These kind of group of 3, there was a little bit of attacking going on. They had it strung out pretty good, and then it slows down a little bit on this back straight, so I figure why not spike it up a little bit. Kind of slingshot past them pretty good. Get a gap easy, and we'll see who's interested in rolling, who wants to chase some moves today. I kind of want to test it out and see how there's a lot of the OKCC guys. There's a couple other teams who are interested in keeping things together, I think. This is Indigo, Tyler from Indigo, I think, on my wheel. They were not really looking to let anything get away without them represented. So this isn't, kind of a probing attack. I'm not fully committed here. Just seeing what the vibe is, and I'm going to fold back into the pack here. Or at least I thought I was going to fold back in, but they ring the bell here for a preem lap naturally, always right after I attack. One of the OK guys, I guess, is Johnson for $50, and he's going to send it up the right-hand side here and kind of slingshot past me. So I'm just going to sit on this move. I'm not feeling great after that, already attacking for a lap, so I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get this preem, but I'm just going to follow the move through to the start-finish line and try to get in any kind of breakaway that might split off from this preem lap. So we do end up getting a pretty big gap from that preem acceleration. We're coming up to the start-finish line here for the $50. And I'm going to sprint a little bit, hop on this guy's wheel, and just see if I can kind of come around at the last second and mug him. But he kind of gives it one more big push there, and yeah, takes down the $50. And he sits up through this corner, but I can hear some stuff going on behind us, so I'm going to see if he wants to go ahead and roll.
We got a big gap and a crash.
Yeah, so I could kind of hear some smashing carbon in the background. So I think there's been some kind of crash or incident in between. So that's as good a time as any to drill it and see if we can get some time on the field while chaos is happening back there. Here's some footage I stole of the chaos from John Birchmore's channel. He's one of the OKCC guys. Yeah, someone just overcooked that turn into the concrete, I think, and took down the better part of the field. So yeah, that's what those guys were dealing with back there, unfortunately. Anyway, this green line rider rolls through. Got an okay guy with us as well, but he doesn't seem super interested here, just kind of hops off the front. I think he's done with this attempt, so I keep the power on a little bit, but I'm not going to blow myself up here. The field is still pretty energetic and is going to tag us coming across the start-finish line here. So I spent a couple laps back in the field, kind of recharging the batteries, getting my heart rate back down. Feeling pretty good here. So yeah, move goes off the front, a couple of guys follow, and I can just kind of slot onto the wheel for not too much of an acceleration. This one doesn't quite snap the elastic. The field's still with us, but pretty strung out. This is kind of the plan for the next few laps, or the rest of the race really, is just try to position myself well to be able to follow moves. And then, yeah, either get away or counter something and get away that way. So a lap or so later, there's been a couple little tiny attacks, and then this wheelman guy puts his head down, decides to attack from pretty much the front. So it's an easy one for me to follow. Go ahead and slot onto his wheel and try to get on the sort of sheltered side here. Once I'm in, the draft is good on this section. And just sit kind of on the left-hand side out of the wind. And yeah, he's going to put his head down, and we get a pretty good gap right away. So yeah, I'm gonna plan on pulling through and commit to this one as hard as I can. Takes kind of a weird line here, maybe hits brakes, so I kind of roll through and yeah, gap him off a little bit, unfortunately, which is not good for the brake cohesiveness. I'm like pedaling through this corner, and yeah, he does make it back up, which is good, but that's typically not a good sign for a brake going. If you gotta kind of burn a match to get back to the wheel, he's still going to pull through, but you're not going to have as much left in the tank to drive a breakaway. But yeah, I pull half of the start finish straight, he comes through, and then I can see that there's some car brand on his jersey. I forget what team, like AMG something or other. Guy appears on the wheel, and I think there's a Indigo rider who's going to appear here as well. Either Tyler or Maxime, can't remember, both good, strong dudes. So yeah, we got a break of 4 forming up here. This is promising. So flick AMG guy through. Then unfortunately in this corner, wheelman guy kind of lets a gap go here again. I don't know, he's got something going on in this corner. Hasn't quite figured it out. So yeah, we pedal through this section a bit. Gap is going out and he's kind of hurting. So I'm going to go around him and try to get to the front of the group and take a pull again to kind of keep things driving forward. But yeah, I guess that's the difference between Cat 3 race and a pro race. Trying to roll a brake. They often don't work at this level. It's just hard to get people to kind of like pulling at the right tempo is a skill. Like the rotating through a course with corners and stuff like that is a skill that you have to learn. It's kind of different than just being out with the with your local group ride, like on a straight flat road, you gotta kind of know when to pull off. Like often on the outside of the corners is a good time to do it, or it's tough to keep the momentum rolling in a group like this. So anyway, I'm still sitting on the front. I'm waiting until we kind of get some more cohesiveness, and then Flick. I think this is Maxime was his name. But yeah, I kind of yell at him here to see. There was a preem lap, so I kind of yell at him to see if he wants to split it. Tell him I'll lead him out, but I don't know if he heard me, or maybe the field was so close that he didn't think we could do it. So anyway, we just get caught and fold back into the field. Well, the race has been pretty hard to this point. I feel like everyone's kind of suffering a little bit. It should be the kind of crit where you can just sit in, but lots of crashing, getting put back into the field, all kinds of incidents. So yeah, the left-hand side just kind of opens up for me here, and I'm going to go ahead and slingshot past the field. And lucky for me, Frankie was out on the road announcing a $100 preem, so I've got a pretty big gap here right away just from carrying so much speed past the field there. I'm going to put my head down and try to roll this one all the way in. So yeah, give it some gas in the back straight. It's only 5 laps to go at this point, I think, so I'm thinking I can take this preem down, and then if anyone else kind of counterattacks or comes up, I'm happy to kind of just go full gas all the way to the finish line, hopefully. Commit to a move and just see if we can make something stick. I'm all in on the breakaway today, so I'm hoping we can kind of snap the elastic here at some point. Yeah, so I don't see, there's basically no one in the rear cam. It's a pretty decent sized gap. I think I've got 6 or 8 seconds, but boom, my chain drops in that corner. I think when I was coasting or something, I got a little bit of chain suck happening. I think my chain is just, I waxed it before I came here, and it's only been 200 miles, but I've been dousing that thing in hydration mix and grit and grime and whatnot, so I think I probably should have just washed my bike at some point. But anyway, I managed to get the chain back on, and yeah, I see the guys coming up behind me, so I do a pretty massive sprint, and now I'm deep in the red, unfortunately, but I've come this far for the $100, and I'm not letting it get away from me, so I just go absolutely all out over the line, and yeah, take it down, but I'm completely blown my doors here, and there's a couple guys who yell something at me, keep going or whatever, but I'm absolutely cooked, so I try to kind of slot onto their wheels, but I know I don't have it, and yeah, I'm just gonna try to get back onto the back of the bunch here, honestly, without getting dropped, because there's you can go deep, but then there's a certain point that if you fire that full sprint bullet, yeah, at least for me, I have nothing left here. I'm doing 200 watts and hyperventilating. BZ Brent, the sprinter from OK, you can see there, gives me a little push in the rear cam to get me back into the field. That was much appreciated. I was dying. But yeah, I hit the same bumpy patch of road here, and my chain pops off again, which was incredibly frustrating. So I'm thinking, what the hell is going on with my bike? Couldn't get it back on. It got kind of wrapped up. And then the pit is right here on the right, so I was thinking, well, I'll just roll in there and see if I can get a free lap. But unfortunately, dropping your chain a couple times is a maintenance issue, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people just look at a crash and hop off their bike and get a free lap, so it kind of sucks that when you have a legit mechanical, you can't get back in, but that's the way it goes. I was happy to take down the $100. Yeah, had a great 10 days of racing, so they told me I was chasing, so anyway, I went out and did a half-hearted chase lap, and then I'm just going to exit the course here, go find my wife, drink a beer, yeah, and just enjoy the atmosphere after. Had a couple beers with the guys. It was, yeah, good times. And then went out for a little Chicago dinner after. So it was a great way to end a solid race week with a super fun crowd here. I forgot to turn off my GoPro, so admin reveal. All right, well, thanks for watching all these videos. I'll probably post some full race footage kind of over the coming days of all the ones that I bothered to save. And yeah, maybe we'll do like there was some talk about how the race was lost recap of maybe like a quick how I managed to lose all 10 days at Chicago Grit. Anyway, see you in the fall for maybe some cross racing or gravel or something. I'm going off season mode.